Hey friends, so I want to show you what I'm working on today. I am working on a French braise of chicken in wine, which is a pretty famous recipe. However, I'm going to show you in the next couple slides why I'm bringing it back to doing it the very traditional way. And so the techniques in this recipe are really, they were originally developed for using an old tough bird. Okay, so I'll explain why using a chicken, which is what you'll see most commonly in recipes now, and by chicken I mean like a young broiler chicken, why that's not the best for this recipe. Okay friends, if you haven't guessed it, I am making coq au vin, which is rooster in wine, and I chose a Côte de Rhône, which is, this one is like a medium body wine, red wine obviously. And when you buy your wine for your coq au vin, buy 2 bottles and make sure it's something that is good enough to drink. So I think this is like a $13 bottle. It's delicious, and I used 1 whole bottle in the marinade overnight, and then you have your other bottle to drink at the table with your meal. All right, so here are the ingredients for this dish. There's some pearl onions here, mushrooms, shallots, garlic, tomato paste. I'm using a Calvados. I don't have any brandy right now, so I'm just going to use that. And I think the apple flavor that you get from Calvados is going to be really nice with everything. It's just a little bit, just a little touch. One more thing about the wine here is that this was marinated overnight, so it's taking on the red color, which is what you want. So let's just think about the age of this. I think she said it was 10 months old. Compare that to a broiler chicken. Those are butchered at 6 to 9 weeks, so they are super young. They are very tender and they don't have much fat or flavor, okay? And I find when I marinate chicken, the broiler chickens, for too long, the texture of the meat is compromised. So the wine, the acid in the wine is going to tenderize during the long marinade and give the flavor that is important with coq au vin. So that's why you got to use an old bird for this recipe. Otherwise, you're just making chicken and wine. Okay? So for this recipe, I am including how to make your own lardons, because we can't get lardon in the US. And lardon is the cured pork belly that is not smoked. So coq au vin doesn't traditionally have a smoky flavor. You can blanch bacon and use that. Blanching the bacon will remove some of that smoky flavor, but why don't we just make our own? It's so easy. This is going to be so good. And so guys, the reason, going back to what I said in the beginning, is the reason we want to use an old tough bird is because the specific techniques in coq au vin are meant for an old tough bird, okay? So the acid in the wine marinades overnight. It turns the chicken that red color, which is really part of being coq au vin. And if you use a chicken for that, like a young broiler, it's going to degrade the texture of the meat, like being marinated in something acidic like that for overnight, and then being cooked in it as well. You're not gonna have the best quality of the meat. So using an old bird, you could use a stewing hen if you can't get a rooster, but it really benefits greatly and can stand up to that long marination in the wine and then being cooked in the wine. And also because it takes several hours to become tender, whereas the broiler is gonna just be an hour tops. I wouldn't do it longer than that. There's gonna be so much, there's going to be a natural broth, bone broth being created during that long slow cook time, because it takes several hours. So you can use water or stock, you know, if you have stock, use it, but you can certainly use water because it's going to make its own very flavorful, not only flavorful, but like very viscous, like rich broth, because it's going to take several hours. So